Wow, there's so many people already in the chat. Y'all excited? Y'all ready for trivia night? Whoop, whoop. What's happening? Mr. E says, Full House is the best. Fuller House was all right. Netflix should have done better. Ooh, see, I haven't seen Fuller House yet, so, but it's hard. It's hard to remake the classics, you know? So how's y'all's day been? Anything exciting happened today? Is it the end of the day for you? Can y'all see and hear me all right? What's up, Mugen? How are you? Good to see you, Mugen. Y'all, I was stumbling through some of my things. Film Buff, what's up? Mr. E, hello, hello. I'm a little bit early today. Wanted to see what was going on. I see you guys are in the chat, so I wanted to join the convo. What's up, Kevin? Cool, good to know. What's up, Lyndall, Chipper, Lenny, hello, hello. Rob K, Wesley, Benny. Nice to see you all. The crew is here. The trivia crew is here. I was going through some of my nostalgic things, and look what I stumbled upon. Y'all remember the little golden books? Such amazing books. The best part, of course, was the golden spine. And then seeing all the different characters together. Like, how awesome is it that you can see Disney with Sesame Street, and then you've got Looney Tunes, all the favorites in one place. Kevin says, I had so many of them. Yes, me too. It was cool when you had a few, because then you would have one section on the bookshelf that was all golden. So, the Crimson says some of those books came with a cassette. Did they actually? I never had any with the cassette. I did love the books with the cassette tape, and you played it, and it said, when it's time to turn the page, you will hear a chime like this, ding. That's a very nostalgic thing for me. So, Wait says, I only remember the back cover. Yeah, this was the most important part. This, for some reason, could keep you entertained for a while. Maybe this was before we could all read, so maybe the back was more interesting than what was going on in the book. But I never realized that at the back of the book, they actually have a little song. Did all of them have a song? Because I don't remember this. So if anybody can play music, you should play this one. Gumdrop says golden books usually didn't come with the cassette. JR said some of them. Okay. I'll have to see which ones came with the cassette. Maybe it was the earlier ones, because these things have been around for a long time. I actually did a video about the little golden books. They were written so that children could afford to read. So at the time that they were written, books were pretty expensive to get at the time. So there was a guy that launched the little golden books for a pretty cheap price so that children would have access to books, which I thought was really cool. So Jeffrey says the gold binding is what makes it so memorable. Totally. I don't know whoever thought of this, but good idea. Very good idea. Anything eye-catching as a kid was really nice, you know, like the what's the one with the fish? Y'all know which one I'm talking about? That has the rainbow fish. All the different colors in that book. So eye-catching. The cover of the book, very eye-catching. So Waite's experience says Dr. Seuss. Yes, I love the Dr. Seuss books. I would read so many of those. What's up, Nick? Happy Thursday to you. Y'all ready for some trivia today? Whoop, whoop. Jerry says, Ohio in the house. Nice. What's your favorite thing to do in Ohio, Jerry? Are y'all more outdoor or indoor kind of people? Do you go fishing? Do you go hiking? Or do you prefer to like watching Netflix? What's your go-to hobby? Ginger says, this is my first live stream. Welcome, Ginger. Good to have you in here. Thank you for joining us. Jimmy says, outdoor bicycling. That's good, Jimmy. Keeping up that biking from when you were a kid. Good on you. Wait says, outdoors is fun. It is. There's always an adventure waiting outdoors, isn't there? Nick says, oh, always ready for trivia with Tara. Ah, nice, Nick. I'm glad. I enjoy the trivia nights. We will start trivia in about 4 minutes. So stay tuned. If you are just joining us for the first time, well, now 3 minutes. Salted Tool says, hello, thought it started at 8. It does. I just decided to launch a little bit earlier. I saw some people were in the chat, so I wanted to jump in and chat with you guys. I love that you guys turned the lives into a mini 90s chat room before we begin. So good. JR says, Ohio here too. Oh, that's cool. We have the best chili with cinnamon in it. Chili with cinnamon. I don't think I've ever had chili with cinnamon, but that's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea. Exile says, yay, it's you. Yay, it's you, Exile. Welcome. Thank you for joining the chat. Good to see ya. FU says, my favorite celebrity. What? I'm not a celebrity, but thank you. I'm so glad you're here joining us today. Kentucky says, let's spin the wheel. Yes, we will spin the wheel today. You can win a shirt today from 80sTees. We'll start in a couple minutes. Jimmy Josh says, co-host Stick Stickley. Man, I wish Stick Stickley was my co-host. How awesome would that be? Film says, gotta be quick. Yeah, you gotta be quick in this trivia. Film says we play for T-shirts. Dude, the T-shirts are the best. I love them so much. So cool that Kevin donates these T-shirts to us. So, Space says, then move back to the far Superior, Michigan. Oh, are you talking about, did you used to live in Ohio, Engineer? Frequent's also from Ohio. What? There's so many people from Ohio here. Welcome, the people from Ohio. What do people call you, Ohioians? Like, I'm from Tennessee, and people call us Tennesseans. Ohioans. Alaric is from Michigan. Nice. Gumdrop, Nebraska. Bert, Ohio, Cincinnati. Nice. My parents go for the Reds. They like the Cincinnati Reds. Frequent says Ohioans. Oh, so you do. Nice. Sean, Maryland. Johnny, Michigan. Lyndall, Columbus. Alabama, Chicago, Seattle. Nice. Welcome, everyone. Webb says, you're the only 10 I see. I wonder who made that joke up. It's been around for a while. Mugen says, Texas. Ooh. How's Texas? Is everything better in Texas? Berkeley, California, we got brownies, Freakout says. Brownies? What do you mean by that? I hope you're talking about the dessert brownies. That is my favorite dessert. So good. Hot fudge brownie with vanilla ice cream and chocolate fudge. I used to eat that all the time. All the time. But anyway, look, y'all, it is already 8 o'clock Central. So you know what that means. Trivia, trivia, trivia. Woo! It's the most wonderful time of the week. It's 90s trivia night. Whoop, whoop. Get excited. So if this is your first time here, welcome. Glad to have you here. If this is not your first time here, welcome back. So excited to play trivia with you. How it'll work is this will go for an hour. I will ask a trivia question. The first person who gets the trivia question correct on my screen will get a point. The person with the most points after 5 questions will get a chance to spin the wheel. Now, if you land on this 80sTees tab, then you will win a free t-shirt. Otherwise, you will spin the wheel. If it lands on a mini game and you win that mini game, you will win a t-shirt. All of the t-shirts tonight are from 80stees.com. If you have not been on that website, you have to go on that website. All of my t-shirts are from there. All of my nostalgic t-shirts, all they have is nostalgic t-shirts over there. It is amazing. Thousands of them over there. If you have not been, definitely check them out. It's owned by Kevin. He's the owner, has owned it since 1999. All the shirts are officially licensed, legit website. So the t-shirts that you can win tonight are this fan favorite and also my favorite, which is a Ninja Turtles t-shirt. And then the other t-shirts we've got tonight is this Scooby-Doo t-shirt. It says Ruh-Roh. And we've got The Matrix. Anybody watch this movie? So these are the 3 t-shirts up for grabs tonight. If you win a t-shirt, you can only win one. So if you win a game, you can win 1 t-shirt. After that, no more, but you can still play with us afterwards. You just can't win any more t-shirts. There's 3 t-shirts up for grabs tonight. Once they are gone, okay? So basically, I'll keep asking 5 questions. There's multiple rounds throughout the hour. Again, whoever wins after those 5 questions gets a chance to spin the wheel. If you win the game on the wheel or land on the 80sTees tab, you will win a t-shirt. Now, a couple of rules we've got so that we're all on the same page. Do not abbreviate the answers. So if the word is Backstreet Boys, make sure you type out the full word. Don't just abbreviate BSB. Last names only are acceptable. First names only are not. Spelling, it doesn't have to be spelled correctly, but it must sound like the word, okay? So if the word is Seinfeld and you put an X in the middle of Seinfeld, I can't accept it. So make sure you check your autocorrect, okay? Now, again, it's the first person who gets it correct on my screen. Sometimes it'll show that you got it first before someone else. If that's the case, I'm sorry, I can't accept it. I don't know why this happens, but my screen is the official screen. So whoever gets it first right on my screen is the person that will get the point. Sometimes as well, the chat will lag. Again, I don't know why it does this. So it has helped people to click out of the chat and then click back in. Or if you switch devices, sometimes that helps. So again, I don't know why that happens. I'm sorry, but it does happen from time to time. So I think that is everything. Yes. Y'all ready to go? Also, I want to say about the t-shirts, it will all be shipped from 80sTees. So it's not the t-shirts that I'm wearing. They're all from 80sTees. They all come in different sizes from small, some up to 5XL, and they even have tall sizes. So love that. Love that about 80sTees as well. Jake, thank you for the super chat, Jake. Jake says, when will Dark Tara do a live? Love her. Jake, I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't know if I'll be able to stay in character with Goth Tara, but I don't know. You keep asking. Maybe one of these days we'll do a live with Goth Tara. I'll just have to control my smile. It's going to be hard. On a short, it's easier, but on a live, it's a little bit more difficult. So thank you. Okay, let's get this party started, shall we? I got my pen and paper, doing it old school. Here we go. First question. What year did GoldenEye 007 release on N64? What year? Tyler says for Valentine's Day. What for Valentine's Day? All right, Chris, digital artist. First one on our board tonight with 1997. That is correct. Nice work, Chris. You have a point. All right, here is the next question. Who won the NBA championship in 1995? Who was watching basketball back then? Who won the NBA championship in 1995? All right, first to say Houston Rockets is kicking rocks. That is correct. Kicking Rocks on the board. Seems like that was a rare time that the Bulls did not win that year. All right. Next question. Which band released Dookie in 1994? Mugen says, I don't watch sports. No, that's all right. It's all right. All right. First to say Green Day is Richie. Nice work, Richie. Richie is on the board. Nice work, Richie. All right. Here is the next question. Who bit Evander Holyfield's ear in 1997? Dude, this was such a big thing on TV. He was disqualified and fined $3 million. And Kickin' Rocks, first to say Mike Tyson. That is correct. That is 2 points for Kickin' Rocks. Here is the last question for this round. What Nickelodeon game show featured the Aggro Crag? This is the trophy we all wanted back in the day. All right, Patrolman, first to say Guts. That is correct. Patrolman on the board. That is 5 questions already asked, and Kickin' Rocks had 2 points this round, which means Kickin' Rocks gets to spin the wheel. Now, if you just joined, we will have more rounds, so you will have more chances to spin the wheel and win a t-shirt. But this time around, it is Kickin' Rocks. Kickin' Rocks. Let's spin the wheel, man. If it lands on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, then you will win one of these shirts tonight. Again, we've got Ninja Turtles, a Rutro Scooby-Doo shirt, and a Matrix t-shirt. Otherwise, we'll play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a t-shirt. So let's see where we land. Oh, so close, but we landed on roll 95, Kickin' Rocks, roll 95. So what we're gonna do, let me get the wheel out of the way. I'm gonna take this dice here, Kickin' Rocks. I'm gonna roll it. If you roll, or if I roll a 5, then you will win a t-shirt. All right, so let's do this. Get the chair out of the way. Okay. What is Hook? Thank you, Hook, for the super chat. Hook says, I have a weekly reminder for this on Alexa, but I'm from Texas, so she calls it Terror Town. I like it. I like it. Thanks for joining us. That's awesome. Okay, let's see if I can roll a 5. Here we go. Let's roll a 5. Let's do it. Oh! We did it. Are you serious? Kickin' Rocks. I've rolled a 5, dude. Kickin' Rocks. Congratulations, man. That means you have won a t-shirt from 80sTees. That is awesome. Luck is on your side tonight, Kickin' Rocks, and skill. Nice work, Kickin' Rocks. Now message me after trivia is over, and we will get you hooked up with your t-shirt. Message me on Instagram, Tara.town, or Facebook, Tara.town, and we will get you hooked up with your t-shirt. That is awesome, Kickin' Rocks. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep winning these t-shirts tonight, shall we? I think that is the first time I have rolled a 5 in the game Roll 95. So that is pretty awesome. Okay, let's go. 2 more shirts to go. We're just getting started here. Let's do it. Next question. What console launched in the US in 1995 using CDs instead of cartridges? Hello, Ricardo. How are you? Salted Tools. First to say PlayStation. That is correct. Salted Tools. On the board. Nice work, Salted Tools. Next question. Who coached the Chicago Bulls during their second three-peat? He won 6 championships with the Bulls in the 90s. This very talented coach. What was his name? Zachary Green. First to say Phil Jackson. That is correct. Zachary Green is on the board. Nice work, Zachary. Okay, next question. What year did The Matrix release? What year did The Matrix release? And we do have a Matrix t-shirt up for grabs tonight. Chris, digital artist with 1999. That is correct. Chris is on the board. Anyone's game this round. All right. Next question. This is one I had never heard before until I was researching. What is Tails' real name in Sonic lore? What is Tails' real name in Sonic lore? Mr. E, first to say Miles Prower. That's correct, Miles Prower. So Miles Prower, it's a play on miles per hour. I never knew that was his first and last name. Okay, here's the next question. What WWF era exploded in popularity in the late 90s? What era was it? Ooh, S. Wallace, first to say the Attitude Era. That is correct. S. Wallace, nice work. Now, that has been 5 questions asked, but there is not a clear winner, which means we will continue to ask questions until there's a clear winner this round, okay? All right, here is the next question. Again, last names only are acceptable, first names only are not. Who was the Dallas Cowboys quarterback during their 90s Super Bowl wins? S. Wallace, first to say Aikman, that is correct. Troy Aikman. Wallace, dude, congrats, man. You have won this round, which means you get a chance to win one of our t-shirts tonight from 80sTees. We've got this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, Matrix t-shirt, and Scooby-Doo Ruh-Roh t-shirt up for grabs. So what I'm going to do, Wallace, I'm going to spin this wheel here. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a t-shirt. Can we do it, Wallace? Let's see where we're going to land. Are you serious? You just never know what's going to happen with this game. Wallace, do you see this? Dude, you have landed on the 80sTees tab, which means, Wallace, congratulations. You have won a t-shirt from 80stees.com. Woo! Now, Wallace, just message me on Instagram, Tara.town, or YouTube, Tara.town, to claim your prize. Man, that is 2 t-shirts already won so quickly. Only 15 minutes in, which means there's one t-shirt left. Wow. See, last game it took over an hour to win the t-shirts. This time, we all are on fire today. What's in the air today? What's going on? All right. Kurt says, Wally World, yes. Okay. Ready to continue on? Let's go. Okay, next question. What year did Jurassic Park release? What year did Jurassic Park release? JR says ready. That's it, JR. Gumdrop, first to say 1993. That is correct. Gumdrop is on the board. Nice work, Gumdrop. Okay, next question. What console had a controller shaped like an M? What console had a controller shaped like an M? This was the weirdest controller in all of the consoles, in my opinion. All right, Redmond, first to say Nintendo 64. That is correct. Redmond on the board. Nice work. John, what the? John, that's so nice of you. Thank you, John. John says you're the best voice of the 90s. Dude, thank you. I appreciate you, man. Awesome. Awesome. All right. Here's the next question. How many blocks did a standard PlayStation 1 memory card hold? How many blocks did a standard PlayStation 1 memory card hold? Salted Tools, first to say 15. That is correct. Salted Tools on the board again. All right. Thank you, Richard, for the medal. Much appreciated. Okay, next question. Who starred as Neo in The Matrix? Who starred as Neo in The Matrix? JR says, sadly, I was a Nintendo kid. Nintendo was awesome. I was a Nintendo kid as well, JR. Definitely. Andy, first to say Keanu Reeves. That is correct. Andy on the board. Nice work, Andy. Okay, here's the next question. What year did Tony Hawk land the first televised 900? What year was it? Chris says I met him and could remember his name. It happens, Chris. Sometimes I forget my own name. Andy, first to say 1999. That is correct. Andy, you have won this round, man. I've already asked 5 questions. You have 2 points this round, which means you get to spin the wheel. Woo! Nice work, Andy. Now, Andy, we've got a few t-shirts up for grabs tonight. We've got this Ninja Turtles t-shirt, this Scooby-Doo t-shirt, and this Matrix t-shirt. These could be yours. What I will do, I will spin this wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that game, then you will win a t-shirt, Andy. So, let's spin the wheel. Let's see where we land tonight. Dun, 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 dun. Ooh, we've landed on 90s Queen. Very nice. Michael says, you're so cool. Your videos always make me smile. Oh, that's nice to say, Michael. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Michael. And I appreciate you being here tonight and everyone as well. Thank you all so much. Okay, 90s Queen. So how this will work, Andy, I've got 3 cards here. Behind one of these cards is 2 jokers and 1 queen. Your job is to find the queen. If you find the queen, Andy, then you will win a t-shirt, okay? So we've got these 3 cards. We've got card number 1, number 2, and number 3. 1, 2, 3. Andy, where is the 90s queen hiding? 1, 2, or 3? Andy says 3. Okay. Let's check to see if she's hiding behind number 2. She's not there. Is she hiding behind number 1? She is, Andy. She is not behind number 3. I am so sorry, Andy, but you have not won the mini game this time around. However, we still have a long way to go until our hour is up for trivia. So stick around. Let's see if you can win another round. That means we still have 1 t-shirt left for everyone to win. Let's see who's going to take it home. Here is the next question. What was Stone Cold Steve Austin's finishing move? What was his move? Hi, Liam. Good to see you, man. Good to see ya. All right, first to say stunner is Jimmy. That is correct. The Stone Cold Stunner, Jimmy, on the board. Nice work, Jimmy. All right, here is the next question. What 1996 alien invasion film starred Will Smith? What 1996 alien invasion film starred Will Smith? The highest grossing film of 1996. Chris, digital artist with Independence Day. That is correct. Chris is on the board. Nice work, Chris. All right. Next question. What 90s drink came in squeezable plastic bottles shaped like characters? These were the best. These were the best back in the day. So excited to get this in my lunchbox. All right, Andy, first to say squeeze it. That is correct. Andy has got a point on the board. Nice work, Andy. All right, here's the next question. What year did the Sega Dreamcast release in the US? What year did the Sega Dreamcast release in the US? Ooh, y'all are quick on this one. TMO, 1999. That is correct. Nice work, TMO. You are on the board. Here is the next question. Who was the lead singer of Nirvana in the early 90s? Last names only are acceptable. First names only are not. Lead singer of Nirvana in the early 90s. Andy, you were close, but Cuban does not sound like Cobain, so we'll have to go with Will Miser. Kurt Cobain is correct. Will Miser has got a point. Nice work, Will. Now, that has been 5 questions, but there is no clear winner, so we will keep asking questions until there's a clear winner for this round. What 1995 crime film starred Al Pacino and Robert De Niro together? Ooh, Pampa Julian, quick with that one with heat. That is correct. Pampa. Nice work. All right. Here is the next question. What arcade basketball game let players shove opponents mid-play? I know you guys really liked this game back then. I played it a few times. Mexican with NBA Jam, that is correct. Mexican on the board. Still no clear winner for this round, so we'll keep going. Here's the next question. What 1997 game featured Solid Snake as the main character? What 1997 game featured Solid Snake as the main character? Ooh. Gumdrop, you were close, but autocorrect gotcha. So JD, first to say Metal Gear Solid. That is correct. Nice work, JD. You've got a point on the board. Here is the next question. What wrestling faction featured Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and Scott Hall? What were they called? Will Miser with NWO or New World Order. That is correct. Will Miser. Guess what, Will Miser? You have won this round, which means you get a chance to win a t-shirt from 80sTees. Whoop, whoop. Nice work, Will. So the t-shirt's up for grabs tonight. We've got this awesome Ninja Turtles t-shirt, this Matrix t-shirt, and a Scooby-Doo t-shirt. One of these could be yours. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna spin the wheel. If it lands on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that mini game, then you will win a t-shirt, Will. So let's see where it lands. What are we gonna play tonight? Ooh, we almost got 90s Queen, but it is on High-Low G.I. Joe. All right. So how this game will work, Will. I'm going to split the deck. Oh. I have pulled a 2. Will Miser, you have to guess the card underneath the 2, whether it is higher or lower than a 2. If you guess correctly, then you will win a t-shirt. Hopefully you guessed correctly, Will Miser, because the only thing lower than a 2 is the ace in this game. So Will Miser is the ace. I'm sorry. No, the ace is the highest one in this game. I forgot that's what we decided on last time. So Will Miser, what is your guess? Will Miser says higher. Will Miser, I have a feeling you're going to be winning a t-shirt tonight, man. Is this card higher than a 2? It is. Whoop, whoop. It is a 10. Will Miser. Congratulations, Will. You have won a t-shirt from 80sTees. Whoop, whoop. So, Will, just message me after trivia is over on Tara.town or Facebook Tara.town. Tara.town is Instagram. Facebook is Tara.town, and we will get you hooked up with your t-shirt. Very nice, nice work, Will. Now, you guys have been very lucky tonight because that is all the t-shirts that we've got, and they've already been won. And there's still half an hour of trivia left. But we will continue our trivia. We will still play. It's just that the prizes will be no more. But next week, we will have prizes. So make sure you stay tuned for next week, okay? Michael, thank you for the super chat, Michael. Michael says, not a strictly 90s thing, but I also remember Lee jeans were super popular in the 90s. Dude, they were. They were everywhere. I see older Lee jeans a lot in thrift stores. Yeah, same, Michael, same. And they had such a cool logo too. I really like the old school 90s Lee logo. Anybody else wear Lee jeans? Yeah, so good. Okay. Now we're going to keep going because there's a lot of trivia questions and it's still a fun time. Okay, here's the next question. What 1994 action film starred Arnold Schwarzenegger as a secret agent? Adam, thank you for the super chat, Adam. Adam says, hi, Tara, love the shirt. I knew you would. And just got back from class. Keep it up, Adam. Doing well, man. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate you, man. All right, Mr. E, first to say True Lies. That is correct. Mr. E is on the board for this round. Nice work, Mr. E. All right, here is the next question. What cheat code in Doom granted invincibility? Let's see if autocorrect gets you guys on this one. You got to be vigilant on this one. What cheat code in Doom granted invincibility? Anybody? The letters. What cheat code in Doom granted invincibility? Invincibility. INVINCIBILITY. The letters. Anyone? Tony, first to say IDDQD. That is correct. Nice work, Tony. Y'all weren't using much cheat codes in Doom, huh? That's good. It's better to play the game without cheat codes. Okay. Next question. Who was the primary shooting guard for the Chicago Bulls during the 90s championship? He won 6 finals MVP awards. Tony, first to say Michael Jordan. That is correct. Another point for Tony this round. Tony's on fire this round. Okay, next question. This one I think a lot of people will get. What year did Windows 95 release? What year did Windows 95 release? Chris, digital artist, with 1995. That is correct. That was not a trick question. Although I do have a few tricky questions in here. All right, here's the next question. What 1999 film featured underground fight clubs? Liam says, we all get that one. Yes, that's right. Jimmy, first to say Fight Club. That is correct. Nice work, Jimmy. You've got a point. That is the end of round 5. Tony, you are the winner of round 5. Congratulations, Tony. Now, Tony, I don't have any more shirts left, but you are more than welcome to still spin the wheel if you would like. Otherwise, we will continue our trivia. So, Tony, would you like to spin the wheel for kicks and giggles, or would you like to? Tony's saying, yep. Okay, let's do it. Let's see if Tony would have won a t-shirt. Round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. All right, Tony, we're playing High-Low G.I. Joe. That's the game that Will Miser just won. So what we're going to do, Tony, I've got this stack of cards. I'm going to split the deck. Man. Tony, you have to tell me whether the card underneath here is higher or lower than a 3. If you guess correctly, then you will win this mini game. Tony, is the card higher or lower than a 3? Tony says higher. Let's see if Tony's correct. Is it higher than a 3? Oh, it is, but barely, Tony, barely. Nice work, Tony. Had I had another shirt, you would have won it. But unfortunately, all the shirts have already been won tonight. But you know what? This is good practice for next week's trivia. So good work, Tony. This game, this time around is definitely opposite than last week's, that's for sure. Lots of lucky people and skilled people in the room tonight. All right, we've got some more minutes left of trivia, nearly 20 minutes or more, 23. So let's keep going, shall we? Okay, here we go. What 1998 war film featured... No, never mind. What 1998... Sorry, scratch that one. If you're typing, get rid of the typing. What 1998 comedy starred Adam Sandler as a socially awkward water boy? We were talking about Adam Sandler movies just the other night in our chat. Charles, first you say Waterboy. That is correct. Charles is the first on the board for round 6. Nice work, Charles. All right, here's the next question. What 1994 film featured a bus that couldn't drop below 50 miles per hour? This is the movie that solidified Keanu Reeves for his action roles, I think. Chris, first to say Speed. That is correct. Chris is on the board again. Chris is on the board almost every round. Nice work, Chris. All right, here is the next question. What 1996 PC game popularized dungeon crawling loot grinding? All right, first to say Diablo is SAO. Nice work, SAO. SAO on the board. Very good. Okay. Here is the next question. What 1998 superhero movie starred Wesley Snipes? Which one was it? Mugen. First to say Blade. That is correct. Mugen. Nice work. Has a point this round. All right. Here is the next question. What real-time strategy game released in 1998 featured Terrans, Zerg, and Protoss? Let's see who knows this one. Where's my fellow nerdy folk at? SAO, first to say StarCraft. That is correct. Nice work, SAO. SAO. Dude, that is your second point this round, which means you have won round 6. Nice work, SAO. Whoop, whoop. Shall we spin the wheel to see if you would have won a t-shirt? Have we still had a t-shirt? Let's do it. SAO, we're going to spin the wheel. We're going to see if you would have won a t-shirt tonight. Unfortunately, I can't give you one because we are out of t-shirts. They've already been won. But we'll play a game anyway, SAO. We've got High-Low G.I. Joe. This is a popular game tonight. Okay, so I'm going to give this a shuffle. Y'all see my shuffle skills? It's not very good in this angle. Okay, what I'm going to do, SAO, I'm going to cut the deck. I've cut an 8. Ooh, a tricky one. So, SAO, you have to guess if this card is higher or lower than an 8. If you guess correctly, then you will win the minigame. So, SAO, is this card underneath here higher or lower than an 8? Chat is mixed, some saying higher, some saying lower. SAO is saying lower. All right. Is this card lower than an 8? Oh, it is not. I am so sorry, SAO. It is a jack. The jack gotcha. Jack. It's always jack. But SAO, you still won round 6, which is pretty awesome. And we still have like 15 minutes of trivia left. So this will be a fun game. Kick and Rock says, thank you, Tara. I appreciate, but I don't have Instagram or Facebook, so I want to donate my shirt back for somebody else to win. Let's keep it going. I'm just happy I was first to roll a 5. Kick and Rocks, that's okay. What about Kick and Rocks? If you want to email me, you can. Otherwise, if you want to donate a shirt, just let me know, dude, and we can donate one more. My email is in my bio on YouTube, Kick and Rocks, if you want to email me. Yeah, super nice of you, Kick and Rocks. Gabe thinks so as well. Let me know what you want to do, Kick and Rocks, before I start the next round. Tony says, I'll donate my non-t-shirt too. Nice, Tony. Or you can give it to Tony, Kick and Rocks. It's up to you, man. There's such nice people in this community. I just need to point out while we're paused here. Like, you guys are the best, seriously. Kick and Rock says, all good, let somebody else win the next one. Dude, that is so nice, Kick and Rocks. Y'all, Kick and Rocks has put a t-shirt back into the game. What? Dude, Kick and Rocks, you're the best, man. Let's give it up for Kick and Rocks. That's a big W for Kick and Rocks. Kick and Rocks, thanks to you, we have another t-shirt to win tonight. Woo! Everybody's back in the game. Give it up, Kick and Rocks. Woo! Kick and Rocks, Kick and Rocks. All right, let's keep going for our trivia. We've got a chance for someone else to win a t-shirt. Let's do it. All right. What 1992 Olympic basketball team was nicknamed the Dream Team? Which country were they from? Farrell says, load and reload. Gabe says, Team USA. That is correct. Gabe is on the board. Very nice work, Gabe. All right. Here is the next question. What PlayStation controller introduced dual analog sticks in vibration in 1997? Will Miser first to say DualShock. That is correct. Will Miser on the board. Nice work. Here's the next question. What 1999 multiplayer PC game mod evolved from Half-Life and became a competitive staple? The Waits Experience is laughing. What are you laughing about, Waits Experience? You having fun? Will Miser, first to say Counter-Strike. That is correct. Will Miser has another point this round. Nice work, Will Miser. Now, I do want to remind you, if you have won a T-shirt, you can't spin the wheel, but you can still play. So just letting you know. Okay, here's the next question. What 1997 PC game let players manage and build their own theme park? I always wanted this game, but I had to play it at a friend's house instead. Yes, just a reminder that it's whoever gets it first on my screen gets the points. Sometimes it'll show that you got it first before someone else. I don't know why it happens, but my screen is the official screen, so I have to go with who is first on my screen. Okay, y'all, I'm gonna throw this question out because I feel like it could be a couple of different things. So apologies, we're gonna throw this one out. I'm sorry. We're gonna go on straight to the next one. What 1995 thriller starred Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman hunting a serial killer? This isn't a horror movie that I have seen. Or thriller, I guess. This was a good one. Charles, first to say 7. That is correct. Charles is on the board. Nice work, Charles. Okay, here is the next question. What 1999 thriller starred Bruce Willis and featured the twist, I see dead people? For all y'all talking about, I should be talking about scary movies more. Here you go. Here's your chance. Mugen, first to say, oh, sorry. Not Mugen, I'm sorry, Mugen. We're looking for The Sixth Sense. The Sixth Sense, it's gotta sound like it. Fragile. First to say Sixth Sense, that is correct, Fragile. Nice work. Now, I have asked 5 questions. Will Miser, you are the winner of this round. Unfortunately, Will Miser, or fortunately, you have already won a T-shirt. So because Will has already won a T-shirt, we are going to continue this round. And we'll keep it going until there is a winner for the T-shirt. We're going to just start a new round, actually. Start a new round. No, we're going to keep going on this round. Sorry. We'll keep going on this round, and whoever wins this round will get a T-shirt. Okay, sorry for the confusion. Okay, here we go. What 1996 shooter featured Duke Nukem as its main character? Ray says, hey, I got 2 first. Please recheck, Tara. Race, it's the first. Whoever gets it first on my screen, recheck. For some reason, this happens where sometimes it shows that you got it first before someone else. I don't know why this happens, but unfortunately, I have to go with who gets it first on my screen. Again, it must sound like the word. It doesn't have to be spelled perfectly, but it has to sound like it, okay? All right. So, first person to say Duke Nukem 3D is Chris, digital artist. Chris on the board. Nice work, Chris. Okay. Next question. What 1998 action film starred Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker? What 1998 action film starred Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker? Jerome says, I assure you I grew up in the 90s. Nice, Jerome. What a great time to grow up. All right, Mugen, first to say Rush Hour. That is correct. Mugen, a point for you. Nice work. All right, here is the next question. What 1992 PC game is credited with pioneering the modern first-person shooter game? Pitt says, can you do a flip? I don't know. It's been a while. I used to could do a flip when I was like 16. I haven't done it in a while, though. Should I try? All right, Salted Tools first to say Wolfenstein 3D. That is correct. Salted Tools on the board. Nice work. Here's the next question. What 1994 animated show featured two crude teenage slackers? Charles, first to say Beavis and Butthead. That is correct. Charles, dude. That is your second point this round. Nice work, Charles. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Good job, Charles. What this means, Charles, is you now, thanks to Kickin' Rocks, have a chance to win a t-shirt. Whoop, whoop. Thank you, Angela, for the medal. So, Charles, what I'm going to do is I'm going to spin this wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will win either a Ninja Turtle t-shirt, a Rutro Scooby-Doo t-shirt, or the Matrix t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win one of these mini games, Charles, then you will win a t-shirt. So, what's it going to be? We've got 90's Queen. All right, Charles. What we're going to do for this game, we've got two jokers and a 90's Queen. The 90's Queen is hiding behind either 1, 2, or 3. 1, 2, or 3. Charles, if you guess where the 90's Queen is hiding, then you will win a t-shirt. So is she hiding behind 1, 2, or 3? Where is she? Where is she, Charles? 1, 2, 3. This can make or break a t-shirt. Charles says 3. All right, let's see if she's behind number 1. She's not behind number 1. Is she behind number 2? Yes. Charles, I'm sorry, but the Queen is hiding behind number 2. She is not behind number 3, which means I'm sorry, Charles, but you have not won this mini game, unfortunately. But no fret, we still have more time for trivia. Still one more t-shirt to win thanks to Kickin' Rocks and 80sTees. So let's keep going with our trivia. All right. Y'all ready for the next round? Here we go. What 1998 FPS sequel featured Gordon Freeman fighting aliens? Lil Bill says, I love that shirt you're wearing, TT. You should give that one away. That is one of the shirts that is up for grabs tonight, Lil Bill. It's my favorite as well. And I think it's a lot of people's favorite too. Waits Experience, first to say Half-Life. That is correct. Waits is the first on the board for this round. Nice work, Waits. All right. Here's the next question. What 1999 horror film used footage-style marketing to appear real? It was made for $60,000 and grossed nearly $250 million. That is insane, this movie. All right, first, to say the Blair Witch Project is Hitchstick. Nice work, Hitchstick. The Blair Witch Project. Did y'all ever watch that one? That's crazy. $250 million on a $60,000 budget. Wow. All right, next question. What 1995 animated film was Pixar's first full-length feature? Technitech with Toy Story. That is correct. Tech is on the board. Nice work, Tech. Here is the next question. Who was the starting power forward for the Chicago Bulls during their second three-peat from 1996 to 1998? Who was he? Thank you, King, for the heart. Much appreciated, King. All right. First to say Dennis Rodman is Emmerich. That is correct. Emmerich on the board. Nice work, Emmerich. All right, next question. What 1997 horror film starred Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr.? This was the post-Scream horror boom. All right, this was a hard one to spell correctly, but Sean's the first to say, I know what you did last summer. That is correct. Sean is on the board for this round. Nice work, Sean. Always loved that name as a kid when Sean was spelled S-E-A-N. I don't know why, but I like your name, Sean. I like your name. Okay, here is the next question. What rivalry between wrestling promotions dominated late 90s television ratings? What was it called? Plato says you're the best. You're the best, Plato. You're the best. Atomy? Is that how you say your name? Atomy, first to say Monday Night Wars. That is correct. Atomy on the board. Nice work. All right, next question. What 1996 action movie starred Nicolas Cage and Sean Connery on Alcatraz? Broken, is autocorrect getting you? No. All right, Mag, first to say The Rock. That is correct. Mag on the board. This is a long round. Let's see who's going to get this one. Next question. What 1997 animated Disney film featured Hercules? What was the name of that film? Will Miser, first to say Hercules. That is correct. Nice work, Will. All right, here's the next question. What 1994 comedy starred Jeff Daniels alongside Jim Carrey as dim-witted friends? What was the name of this movie? This one was on all the time, it seemed like, on the TV. Sparky, first to say Dumb and Dumber. That is correct. Sparky. Nice work, Sparky. Whoop, whoop. All right, what 1998 sports video game franchise featured John Madden's name? What was it called? Sparky versus say Madden NFL. That is correct. Woo! That was a long round, but Sparky, dude, congratulations, Sparky. You have won this round, which means you get a chance to win one of these T-shirts from 80sTees. Whoop, whoop. We've got a Ninja Turtles T-shirt. the Matrix t-shirt and this Scooby-Doo t-shirt up for grabs tonight. What I'm going to do is spin the wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will instantly win an 80sTees t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that game, then you will win a t-shirt. So, Sparky, let's see where the wheel's going to land tonight. Oh, we were close on the 80s T, but we are on 90s Queen. All right. This is another popular game tonight. So, Sparky, I've got 3 cards. 2 of these cards are a joker. One of these is a queen for the 90s Queen. You have to guess where she is hiding. If you guess correctly, you will win a t-shirt, Sparky. She's either hiding between card number 1, 2, or 3. Sparky, 1, 2, or 3, where is she hiding? If you guess correctly, you will win a t-shirt. Dolo, thank you for the super chat, man. Dolo says, do you remember a cartoon called Cops and Crooks? It was massive in the late 80s, early 90s, but disappeared almost overnight. Ooh, chat, do you guys remember a cartoon called Cops and Crooks? That sounds familiar, Dolo, but I'm not sure if I saw that one. Anybody in the chat see that one? All right, Sparky says card number 3. So you're choosing this one, Sparky. All right, is she behind card number 1? She is not. Is she behind card number 2? She is behind card number 2. She is not behind card number 1. Unfortunately, Sparky, you got the joker, which means you do not get the t-shirt tonight. I am so sorry. That is not good news for you, but it is great news for everyone else because that means we still have one more t-shirt left to win. So, shall we keep going with our trivia? The hour is up, but I would like someone to walk away with a t-shirt tonight. Thanks to Kickin' Rocks for donating the t-shirt after he won, and 80sTees for providing the t-shirt. All right, we're going to keep going. We're going to keep going with the trivia. Let's do it. All right. Here is sorry, just give me 1 second. We are reloading. All right. What was the name of the group responsible for the Macarena? What was their name? All right, first to say Del Rio is Kevin. Nice work, Kevin. Kevin, you were on the board for this round. Nice work, Kevin. Next question, what 90s teen movie was retitled after a Britney Spears song? What 90s teen movie was retitled after a Britney Spears song? One of those nice teen movies that was kind of mandatory to see. Will Miser, first to say, you drive me crazy. That is correct, Will. Drive me crazy. Nice work. All right, here is the next question. How many Americans tuned in to watch the O.J. Simpson trial verdict? How many tuned in? This one's a bit of a hard one. Charles, first to say 150 million. That is correct. Charles, on the board for this round. Nice work. Next question. What was the first animated feature film to be nominated for a Best Picture Oscar? All right. First to say Beauty and the Beast is John. That is correct. Nice work, John. On the board. Woo woo. Nice work. Who was named the first female Secretary of State in 1997? Last names only are acceptable. First names only are not. John with Madeleine Albright. That is correct. John. You're the same John from before. Is that right? There's not more than one John in here? John? Nice work, John. John, that is 2 points for you, man, which means you have won this round. So, John, we're going to play a game. If you win that game, then you will win a Ninja Turtles t-shirt, a Scooby-Doo t-shirt, or this Matrix t-shirt, all thanks to 80sTees. Now what I'm going to do, John, I'm going to spin the wheel. If you land on this 80sTees tab or this 80sTees tab, you will win a t-shirt. Otherwise, we will play a mini game. If you win that t-shirt, then if you win that game, then you will win a t-shirt. John. John, do you see what I'm seeing? Dude. Congratulations, John. You have won a t-shirt from 80sTees. Whoop, whoop. Nice work, John. We have landed on the 80sTees tab, which means you instantly win a t-shirt for tonight. John, nice work, man. Dude. So, John Booze, can you please message me after trivia is over, which it is now over. It's past 9 o'clock. So just message me on Tara.town on Instagram or TaraTown on Facebook, and we will get you hooked up with your prize. Thank you, Kickin' Rocks, for giving away your t-shirt to let someone else win tonight. That was very nice of you. And thanks to 80stees.com. They are the ones who have given us the t-shirts to give away for tonight. So thank you, Kevin from 80sTees. Everybody say thank you to Kevin. Whoop, whoop. Kevin's made our trivia way more fun to win these t-shirts. Again, if you haven't been on 80sTees, y'all got to go on there. All my t-shirts you see in my videos are from 80sTees. Anything that you can think of nostalgia-wise, it's mostly on there, which is awesome. So definitely check it out. Andrew, dude. Andrew sent a super chat. Thank you, Andrew. You are awesome, man. I appreciate you. Andrew says 95. What do you mean, Andrew? What do you mean by 95? I'm curious. Hook says, Kevin is awesome. Kevin is awesome. Kevin, if you're watching, we appreciate you, man. Kevin has made our trivia fun. Andrew says, you're awesome. You're awesome, Andrew. Thank you, man. Brock says, Tara, you're awesome. TMNT, we're great. So great. And how good is this shirt, Brahm? How good is it? Best shirt I've seen. All right, cool, John. Awesome. I'll definitely check it later. We will have an after party from the trivia. I'll probably stop this live in a few minutes, and then we'll go live again and hang out, talk 90s nostalgia if you guys are interested. Hope y'all enjoyed. Did you guys enjoy the trivia tonight? Congrats to all the winners. Will Miser, John, Kickin' Rocks, although he donated, and S. Wallace were the winners. Adam, thank you for the super chat, Adam. Adam says, have a good night, Tara. Always love seeing you. You too, Adam. Take care. Hope you sleep well, man. Chris says, I did pretty well this time. You did, Chris. You got a lot. You got a lot. Oh, I do have to say with the 80sTees as well, again, you get to pick your size if you want your T-shirts. They go from small to 5XL, and they also have the tall sizes. So if you have trouble finding your size, I love 80sTees because they have a wide variety of sizes. So again, thank you, Kevin. That is awesome. Mel Blanc says, fun game. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Ray says, dang, all the sizes. Yeah, so many. It's awesome. It's nice to have a variety because sometimes it's hard to see. Jay Smith says, when is this happening again? So we will do another trivia on Thursday. We're going to keep it weekly Thursday at 8 o'clock Central. So I hope to see you guys next week. Yeah. Same time, same place. Kickin' Rock says, if I win again, I'm keeping it. Now you've got something to strive for again, Kickin' Rocks. You give it away, and now you're more motivated to win another shirt. That was nice of you, Kickin' Rocks. So nice of you, man. Mugen says, every Thursday, 8 p.m. Central. That's right. That's right. What? Dirty Rock, dude. That is so nice of you, Dirty Rock. What the heck? Dirty Rock just sent $99. Dude. Thank you, Dirty Rock. Dirty Rock says, love the show. So glad you enjoyed it, Dirty Rock. Thank you for joining, man. So awesome to have you here and really appreciate your donation. That's super nice of you, man. Thank you, Dirty Rock. Very, very kind of you. Andrew says, love it. Yeah. So nice. Thank you, Dirty Rock. So nice of you, man. Ray says, Dirty Rock laying it down. That's right. So nice. You guys are so nice. You're such a supportive group on here. I really appreciate you guys. Friendliest people on the internet is on this YouTube space. Is it because we're from the 90s? Is this why? Are people that grew up in the 90s just a little bit more friendly? Oh. Chris says, hey. Hey, Chris. How are you? Good to see you, Chris. Andrew says, well, who doesn't love the 90s? That is true. That is true. Was this y'all's first time to play the game tonight, or have y'all played before? Andrew, dude, thank you, man, for the super chat. Andrew from Canada, always supported my dude. Thank you. John says, we were peak. Yeah, 90s was the best to grow up. We had a balance of everything, you know? We had a balance of the tech. We were all outside all day long. I need to take y'all outside for one of my lives. We should do that sometime. We can chill outside together. I can show you what Australia looks like if you guys would be interested. NNMP says, first time, I'm going to train like Rocky to get faster typing. Make sure you play the music in NNMP. Yeah, it's hard to type, and there's so many autocorrect errors, so it is a bit tricky, this game. Maybe in the future you can speak instead of type. Do they have that set up yet? If not, I'm sure it's coming. Will Miser says, I played before, but first time winning. Yeah, it's good to see you win, Will Miser. That's awesome. And you got on the board a lot this time. A lot of people got on the board multiple times. So this was a good game. I like this game too because you never know what's going to happen. You never know if the T-shirts are going to get one like this. You never know if it's going to go over an hour. It's always a good time. Jay Smith says, and drinking from the water hose. That's right. We drank from the water hose. There was no going inside and getting a drink. You just helped yourself to the water hose and back off you were playing. It was the best. It was the best. Kickin' Rock says, I was absolutely typing. You are a quick typer then, Kickin' Rocks. Mugen says, I'm getting closer. Yeah, Mugen, you were on the board a lot. You did so good, Mugen. Kickin' Rock says, I turned off autocorrect. Oh, that's a good idea, Kickin' Rocks. I guess you learned your lesson a few times playing in the past, huh? Mike says, best water too. Yeah, it really was, right? After running and running and running around, you were so thirsty. And then that water hose water, it was so good. So good. Benny's got a pun. I love to see your puns, Benny. What do you got today? Benny says, that is a shell of a good shirt, Tara. Oh, Benny, I love it. Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super chat, Benny. Thank you for your pun. I love to see what pun you've got. Benny, is your YouTube channel dedicated to puns? I need to go check out your channel. I love me a good pun, for sure. Ryan says, we can turn off autocorrect. I guess so, Ryan. Kickin' Rocks, can you enlighten us on how we turn off autocorrect for those asking? Ryan says, autocorrect hates me. It hates me too, Ryan. It hates me too. Gareth, you're the best, man. Thank you for joining, Gareth. Eric says, your shirt makes me green with envy. I like that joke. I like that joke. That's a good one, Eric. Know thyself. Thank you for the super chat, Know thyself. Very nice of you, man. The 1890s were horrible. Oh, if we're talking about the 90s, the 1890s were horrible, Know thyself saying. Many because of the flu killing 1 million and the slow economic recovery from long depression, but the 1990s were rad. Yeah, maybe we should specify which 90s we're talking about in here, Know thyself, because I guess there were a lot of 90s growing up, but the 1990s, you are correct, was pretty rad. And I like that you use the word rad. Let's keep the 90s lingo in here, you know? Andrew says, Donatello. Yeah, Donatello was my guy. I always pick Donatello in Turtles in Time. Did you guys ever play that game? Hitchstick says, some of us are 140 years old. Can you tell us your secret then, Hitchstick? Okay, Kickin' Rocks is telling you how to turn off autocorrect. So iPhone, you go to settings, search, autocorrect, and turn off. So that might help you for the next game. That's good to know. Thank you, Kickin' Rocks. Godsmack says, Michelangelo. Yeah. Which turtle is y'all's favorite? Or did you like the villain the best? All right, y'all. I am going to end the trivia stream, but don't go anywhere because in 5 minutes, I'll do another live and we'll do a 90s after party hangout for the trivia, okay? So I'm going to end this one. Thank y'all for joining if you're going to leave us now. Really appreciate it. Hope to see you next week. Trivia, 8 o'clock Central. Otherwise, I'll see you in 5 minutes for the 90s after party hangouts. See you soon. JR says, we'll be right back after these messages. That's right. We'll be right back after these messages. We'll be right back. Yeah. Same channel? Yes, same channel. Same channel. Puddle Thumper says, let's all go to the lobby. All right, I'll see you guys soon. 5 minutes, grab your drinks, take a bathroom break, grab your snacks. We're in it. I'll be streaming for a couple of hours, and we're just going to be talking 90s and other random things that we get into. So stick around. We'll see you soon. See you in 5. Bye.